Good evening or afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another forecast here by Age with the Forecast. This will be yet another upload here and even update on the major nor'easter here that's going to continue to bring in up to feet of snow, extremely windy conditions, up to strong tropical storm wind gusts, and extreme flooding for millions across the eastern corridor, mainly in the New England area and northeast. But before we get in the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button and that post notification icon, as we're going to be looking at who can get the most amount of snow, where will the biggest ice threats be, where will the biggest wind threats be, and who can see the best chance for snow. And that's going to be throughout all of this video here. But without further ado, let's get in the forecast. So a big update we just got right now is windstorm warnings have just been issued for a few counties out here in the New England area. You can see those pink counties is where we do have windstorm warnings, and that's where you can very well get over a foot of snow here. That's for much of western Maine, all of New Hampshire, and the tips of Vermont, and even up into much of central Massachusetts here. So you do see we do have areas such as Concord there, as well as Nashua, Keene, Stamford, Conway, Berlin, Jackman, areas of Romford, Norway, all these areas of Augusta, and then Portland and other areas as far as Bangor are now under windstorm watches, which they were not under a few hours ago. And now finally they issue winter weather advisories for Vermont, like I just said a few hours ago in my old video 2 hours ago, before they were even there. So I guess I kind of got that right here. But let's see exactly how much snow that means here. So let's see how much snow are they actually showing then for this windstorm warning here. And they are showing up to 6 to 14 inches of snow. This is for the National Weather Service under Great Maine. This is for Caribou, Maine. They're showing up to 13 inches of snowfall. I mean, there's going to be crazy amounts of snowfall here when it comes to this. Let's check out what they have for Weather Store. They have up to 14 inches of snowfall for some areas into central Maine. So this is obviously going to be a big time storm here. Definitely going to be a big time storm. As we now get more to the Massachusetts region here, we're looking at windstorm watches continue moving closer and closer towards the downtown metro area. Storm warnings have been issued as well for portions of the far southeastern Massachusetts, so we're looking at some really crazy winds here as well. Windstorm warnings now for areas like Concord, Manchester, and then even into Worcester and Fitchburg, central Massachusetts. And now windstorm watches are all the way down up into northeastern Connecticut. Snowfall totals continue to increase now. Fitchburg and Worcester were just at I believe 6 to 8 2 hours ago, or 3 hours ago maybe, in my last video, and now they're at 8 to 12 inches and maybe even up to maybe 14 inches of snowfall here. So definitely going to be hitting smack down Massachusetts. Boston stays the same, but areas near Lawrence and Bedford now increases 6 to 8 inches, and now there could be a chance for 8 to 12 inches into far northeastern Connecticut, right on the border with Massachusetts in that kind of orange color. Providence stays at 1 to 2 inches. Coventry, Rhode Island stays at 3 to 4 inches there. New London, New Haven, you guys on the coast are staying at less than an inch at a trace. Hartford, 1 to 2 inches. Again, up near Foxborough, 3 to 4 inches here. So definitely going to be a very widespread storm, though. And let's take a look at Vermont as well. And even northeastern Connecticut now has northwestern Connecticut now has a winter weather advisory. Pittsfield, Bennington, you guys as well have a winter weather advisory, and that's going to have to do with around 1 to 4 inches of snowfall. So let's look at the NAN 3 kilometer here, which is a very detailed radar here, and they are very accurate when it comes to severe weather. So they're definitely going to predict some not extreme severe weather, but some extreme flooding and some slight severe weather across areas on the east coast for areas like Baltimore, areas as well near Atlantic City. Going to be seeing some strong and heavy rain for areas like Long Island, some heavy rain as well for New York City. So those cities that I just named, you guys are not going to get snow with this, just very heavy rain, because it'll be above freezing temperatures when it comes to you guys when this low pressure passes by. So it's not until it gets to Saturday night that the snow starts to appear. But by Saturday night, this low pressure is all the way up near Massachusetts, so the rain near the New England area will actually convert into snow because they will be getting below freezing by that point. But you guys right here on the coast will be like 37, 38, so definitely not going to convert into snow. By the next 20 hours, we're going to start seeing those first snow showers appearing here. So as we go into overnight hours, next 20 hours, that's going to kind of be in the late afternoon at that point. So we are looking at definitely seeing, as we get to that time, the sun goes down, temperatures will drop, and especially in the higher elevations there, we will be seeing temperatures rapidly going below freezing, which will allow that rain to convert into snow just like Dane did overnight here. But those areas that don't reach below freezing at that point in the next 20 hours, like Foxborough, Boston, Harper, you guys are going to be staying at very chilly but heavy rain. And as we now get into the next 24 hours or 25 hours, this will start to bring in blizzard conditions here overnight into areas like Connecticut and Massachusetts here. So it's definitely going to be a fun event to stay up for. I mean, the heavy snow, I mean actually heavy snow. This is like the heaviest snow you can actually get when it comes to a nor'easter here for areas like Worcester and even northeastern Connecticut, which is why you guys can very well get up to a foot of snow even though you're under a windstorm watch still. We're still seeing as well those heavy rain showers converting into heavy snow in areas like central New Hampshire. You're going to see that kind of fighting process overnight as well into Maine here. It's going to be a bit of a problem for eastern Maine and for eastern Maine and the coast and eastern Massachusetts on the coast, because those places will not reach below freezing, but they're still going to get snow, just a little bit less because it's going to be above freezing. But since it's going to be heavy, falling so heavy, there will be some slight accumulation there. But in the next 30 hours, it's going to bring in very heavy snow for areas like Providence, Rhode Island, up to maybe even less than an inch there, all the way down to Newport. Heavy snow, of course, for eastern Massachusetts and Connecticut. Then that snow's going to really come down now in the next 30 hours for areas such as western and central Maine and areas in the higher elevations across all of New Hampshire. That snow will end by the next around 40-ish hours for Boston, but won't end for areas like Maine and upper New England. That's where we'll be seeing extremely heavy snow continuing as the temperatures stays with a precipitation that is, obviously the temperatures will be well below freezing at this point, so that's going to help keep heavy snow falling to the point where it doesn't really end until really the next 60 hours. It does not leave Maine until the 60 hours. They're still sticking in areas near Caribou, Maine, and even going to bring some snow areas such as Halifax. Here's the European model, the general European model. This is the next 18 hours they have. So I'm going to be seeing that very heavy rain. This is the 12Z, so this is the latest update. In areas into far up New England and northeast, we will be seeing some slight snow showers by kind of tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, because those areas will be actually be below freezing here as the cold front does move forward deeper into the northeast. So those areas in the upper northeast could have some snow showers actually before to the main nor'easter. But as we now get into the big time, that 30-hour mark, that snow is going to be extremely heavy, and we will be seeing also some slight ice threats across kind of that freezing line here. So when that rain meets with the snow, we will not be seeing kind of rain and snow, but kind of be rain, precipitation, freezing rain, then snow there. So we will be seeing some ice threats for some of those areas that we'll be getting the rain first, and it'll convert to ice. So that's going to help bring in some accumulation as well. That will make accumulation a lot easier. But I mean, as well, going to be seeing very heavy rain for areas like southeastern Maine, Rhode Island, much of Connecticut. And by the time we get into now waking up really early tomorrow morning, that rain will move out, and that ice and snow would take over, even all the way down to Foxborough and all the way down near Newport. We can get some snow in these areas as well. Even though it's going to be above freezing, it will still snow in these general areas here. Going to be seeing some ice threats in the next 36 hours for areas like Providence, Boston, Foxborough, Manchester, all the way to Augusta. And they're going to be seeing that very heavy snow for areas where we have those windstorm warnings, such as Worcester, Concord, all the way up near Caribou in central Maine. And then there's that snow in the next 54 hours, rapidly moving out of the air, but still going to be seeing some kind of scattered snow showers throughout the northern New England area And then we will be seeing maybe a snow threat as well for the mid-Atlantic on Monday. So that's obviously something to look at as well. But here, looking now at the snowfall totals for the main European model 12Z, of course. So big updates here. Big updates for areas like Boston, especially for areas like Central Maine and for New Hampshire. There's big updates here. But let's take a look at those updates and zoom in more. So let's zoom into Maine first here. So Maine, of course, hasn't really changed necessarily too much. But Caribou, looking at a good 10 to 12 inches of snow. Much of western and central Maine will get way over a foot of snowfall. So really, in general, a lot of Maine will get over 10 inches of snow, but areas in the far southeastern part or southwestern part of the state could reach up to 15 to 24 inches of snow. So you're nearing 2 feet for some of these areas, which is why windstorm warnings have been issued there. And I do think still 15 inches is not enough. I think they will be way over 15 inches, but obviously the only areas that really won't get too much snow will be the southeastern coast of Maine, as those temperatures will be way above freezing, so it's just going to be really hard to convert any accumulation. So it'll maybe be a little trace or flurries, but really nothing whatsoever there. Now that we're done with talking about Maine, let's now move into the Boston area. So the Boston area, looking at a ton of snow here compared to this time of the year. Looking at a good 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. But you want to talk about a lot of snow? Talk about your neighbors a few counties away to the west. And look at all that snow there in areas like Worcester, getting up to 18 to 20 inches of snowfall. I mean, that is just crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Areas in the bordered with New Hampshire and these general areas as well. In the far upstate Massachusetts and far southern far southern New Hampshire, looking at a very good amount of snow, 20 to very well near 26 inches of snowfall. I mean, that is just crazy to think about. Areas near Hartford, looking at a good 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. Areas near Providence, looking at a good 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Areas as well into northeastern Connecticut, where we do have the most recent update with the National Weather Service. You guys are looking at a good 11 to 14 inches of snowfall. So Connecticut really won't miss out too much of it, as well as northeastern Connecticut, where we just got those advisories, looking at a good 6-8 inches, really max. Pittsfield looking at 5 to 6.5 inches there. Areas into far southern Vermont looking at a good 5 to 8 inches of snowfall. I mean, looking at maybe maybe Trace near Newport, maybe a max inch of snow. Foxborough looking at maybe 4 to maybe even 7 inches of snowfall. But again, Concord looking at 16 to 19 inches. Berlin up there in upstate New Hampshire looking at a good near a foot of snow as well, or not near a foot, kind of just under a foot. So I mean, really Boston. Wow, I mean Boston's really just gonna miss the worst of it by a few miles, really, basically. And as well, we can't forget about New Hampshire and Vermont. And you see near the Berlin area getting around 11 inches, just under a foot, maybe reaching probably 12 inches, 13 inches. I mean, a foot's definitely not out of the picture here. Mount Washington looking at around 19 to 24 inches as well. So definitely just a big overall wintry mess. Here's looking at the 93 kilometer as well, a very big update here. Let's also zoom in because it's kind of really far to see from there on the screen. So you just see as well, 93 kilometer does have Boston actually getting included here. But of course, I've said it multiple times, the NAM is not too accurate whatsoever with snowfall totals. They were meant for severe weather, so really, you can't really trust them too much. But they're showing some similarities with the European model, except they take it way more to the south here. I mean, for example, they have up to near 8 inches near Providence. That's definitely not going to happen. They have up to 8 to 10 inches for Boston. That definitely won't happen here. It's just the NAM tends to always overreact to storms. But something they're not overreacting is areas like central Massachusetts. They have Worcester under 21 inches. They have Concord around 16 inches of snowfall as well. Near Manchester around 25 inches of snowfall. That's not too much overreacting. So the NAM's overreacting some stuff and then correct on the other stuff, in my opinion. They have Hartford around 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. They do actually have as well the areas all the way down near Gusts getting around over a foot of snowfall here as well. And they're getting up to 37 inches as well in upstate near Berlin in the Mount Washington region as well. Could get a few snow showers there throughout New York City there, but just flurries won't accumulate. Same thing for Albany. Some flurries. Same thing for Burlington, and even as well near the Montpelier area. Just gonna get some flurries there, not too much accumulation. Last but not least, here's a look at the GFS. GFS has kind of done a bit more western trends. They're not getting around 10 to 14 inches in upstate north central Massachusetts, but they only show around 4 to around 5 inches there for the Worcester area. So that's still a big, just huge difference. And obviously, the National Weather Service has already put a windstorm warning. So, the GFS, I think, is just going to be wrong at this point. 2 to 3 inches for Hartford for them based on the GFS. They have not a single thing for Boston. So, I think GFS is definitely off on this here. They're showing really where we have those windstorm warnings now for central Maine, they still only have like 4 inches. That's just not true. That even the National Weather Service is going against them at this point, which they did not do with Dane. GFS and National Weather Service kind of had like a little relationship there during Dane, but this is just not looking good for the GFS at this point. Unless this is just a massive bust, but you can't really have a bust with a massive nor'easter that could very well be a bomb cyclone, most likely. 991 millibars in the next 24 hours, going to bring in very heavy rain for areas in the mid-Atlantic, up to around 2 inches of rain, not 4 inches, but 2 inches, but 4 inches off the coast there, where that low pressure is. Then it rapidly drops in 6 hours to 983 millibars. So that is a very big drop here from 991 to 983 in just 6 hours. It's like some tropical storm stuff here. Looking at near the Cape Cod area, up to 3 inches of rain. That is possible. But the best bet's around 2 inches. But there is a chance for 3 inches. And then it goes all the way down to 978 millibars. So really getting close to probably becoming a bomb cyclone. But it's not super likely. But it's definitely a possibility here. I'm going to be bringing around a good inch or two up in Maine, which is still a ton of rain actually for Maine. That's a ton of rain. For the Northeast. Northeast doesn't get too much rain, especially at this 24-hour time period, but this is exactly why flash flooding is a massive threat for this nor'easter. Not too many people are actually focusing on that. So in the next 12 hours, we are going to be seeing the winds being kind of chill, kind of calm, but that'll all just change and just rapidly in just a matter of a few hours here. Boston seeing 11-mile-an-hour gust. New York City, 0. Really, New York City is really calm, no winds whatsoever. Atlantic City looking at around 18-mile-an-hour gusts, and then I just go a few hours later, it just blows up here now. New York City getting 40-mile-an-hour gust, Long Island getting 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts now. Boston up to 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It looks like a hurricane. It really does look like a hurricane. And that's why that's why nor'easters bring storm surges and all that, because they're basically like a winter hurricane. They do have the winds for it as well, but it's just not tropical though. I do see they're looking at a good 60 knots there, a good 60 miles an hour gust. Whereas there, Boston, Cape Cod, 50-mile-an-hour gusts for areas near Hartford. And then as we continue to go on the next 27 hours, we do actually have up to 68 knots. 68 miles an hour wind gusts for areas near Providence and Newport. As well, going to be seeing up to 65 mile an hour gusts for areas near Augusta, Maine. And that's 65, 51 for Boston the next 30 hours. And then even the next 40 hours, gusts will still be up to 40 and 50 across the New England area. And it's not till really 48 hours where the winds kind of calm down slightly to 20 to 40. And then it's not till 60 hours where they kind of go down to kind of mid to high 20s with some scattered 30s in the higher elevations.